Hello, everyone. It is January 6th, 1942, and we're back with another turn in our Focus Pacific game. Let's see what happens. We start out with a little ASW action off of Babel Doab. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. But one of our Dutch subs, same Dutch sub as yesterday, avoids some ASW attack. Babel Doab is decent sized base for Japanese, so I like to keep some subs around it and see what's happening. A lot of amphibious task forces tend to leave from it early in the war. Some Singapore sweeps, some Bataan sweeps, some Singapore sweeps again, but again, we do not have planes there for them to sweep. We do catch, it looks like, a single Lily with some of her BR-697 French heavy fighters outside of Cheongsa. Decent side bombing raid coming in on Manila, doing only light damage, very high altitude again. And 26 more Bettys. He's running these all out of Formosa or Taiwan, I suppose. Go up here. He's at the Takao Air Base. A lot of Bettys stationed there at the beginning of the war. He's kept those there. They've served as his kind of primary bombers for the Philippines. And again, let's see what they do. Minor damage, but it does add up when he's sending so many different strikes in. And going for Clark Field here. Only very minor damage. And Bataan again. So well over 100, probably 150 bombers all told going after the Philippines this turn. Some sweeps over Sian. Looks like, what, 2 zeros there. Some sweeps over Manila. And a large bombing raid coming in on Singapore. We've got 48 twin-engine bombers escorted by a couple Zero Sentais. Only light damage, though, again, because of that high altitude they're flying at. Some sweeps over Singapore. 14 Sallies going on Sian, only light damage. I'm really going to watch to see how many sweeps he does here, because these bombers came in unescorted, and if there's only those 2 zeros flying sweeps in the morning, I can afford to put some fighters back here, take the damage from those light sweeps, and hopefully take out some of these bombers. We'll see. More bombing on Singapore, and again, very light damage. Not worried about it. More Singapore sweeps. Some Lilies attacking Quang Chowan, doing their normal damage. And again, he's really hitting the Philippines hard, and this is a long way to fly. Actually, it's not too bad. Cam Rabe to Manila. But a little bit of a long-range bombing right there. And Guam hit as always. Clark Field again. And Bataan, wow. So, yeah, very, very heavy bombing. And lots of bombers in the skies of the Philippines this turn. I'm just going to speed through these unless something really sticks out to me. We had 11 more zeros sweeping there, and those would take apart any cap that I wanted to put above the hex, so that's disappointing. We're into the PM phase of air operations. So we've got a Betty strike flying from probably Rabaul into Port Moresby. I do have some cap here, but not much. This is BR-697 Squadron and this Buffalo Squadron. And the Betty's torpedo bombers, they make it through my cap and make their way to the ships. 2 torpedoes in XAK sunk. That's not surprising, but a little disappointing that my cap didn't make it their way to those bombers and down any. So I'm really going to have to pay attention to the cap there and make sure that it's a little more robust. Oh, it looks like we have some invasion forces coming in, the Serum C. My Dutch bombers do not do a very good job. This is unsurprising. They're not great at naval attack. I also have them maybe a little bit too high as well to be effective with that. They're bombing from 1,000 feet, so it's possible that I have them set a little bit lower, and they were just intercepted that altitude. Some of my Dornier, I should say, flying boats come in, patrol boats. Patrol flying boats. One of them gets destroyed, but they do put 3 bombs in the transfers here and take out some of the invasion force. Last turn, I thought I turned all of my Dorniers back to naval search, but I did leave some down here set to naval attack. And I'm glad I did, because it reaped result. I did lose a flying boat, couple damage, but I'll take it. It's any damage I can do to these invasion TFs is good. One thing that he probably doesn't know is that I have disbanded naval task forces here, here, and here, specifically to intercept and destroy invasion task forces that are on their way. So I'm going to activate those this next turn and see if I can get among these invasion task forces. I'm going to have to see. I have good naval search here, so I'll be able to tell what kind of surface escorts he has. But we'll try to come in here and wreak some havoc. We'll see what happens. So I've got some escorts flying, or cap flying some Singkawan? Anyway, but he's got some Bettys coming in to attack my cruisers here. They were supposed to disband right there, and they had plenty of time to do so. So I'm not sure why they're stuck a hex outside of this this dot hex here. More of another Betty raid coming in on Port Moresby. Luckily, no hits on my shipping that time, so that's good. Ooh, Nell's coming in. Dropping torpedoes. It's never a sound you want to hear, that splash of that torpedo entering the water. But my ships are unscathed. When 22 Betty is carrying torpedoes, this could be bad. Miraculously, all 3 of my ships escaped unharmed. That was luck. That was not anything that I did to make them survive. That could have been very, very bad for me. Betty's early war carrying torpedoes are just scary. They have great range. Torpedoes do, tons of damage to ships. And as an allied player, you just don't have the cap to put up above all your task forces like you'd like to. It's not like mid or late war where you have more warplanes than you know what to do with sometimes. Early war, sometimes you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Less so in Focus Pacific, though. I definitely have more to play with than in stock. So I got lucky, and then in the air phase, really only losing that one ship. A shock attack in the land combat phase. Very beat up LCUs here that were forced into this hex from a previous attack, and they are absolutely cleaned up as the Japanese cross the river into this road that passes by Yan'an and heads to Sian. So about 2,000 AV in the hex. I was only putting up 11 against it. Both of these units completely wiped out. In about 35 days, they will come back at Chongqing. That's one of the mechanics about China is you're destroyed. LCUs in China regenerate. No other country has this happen. You have to buy out and then replace the squads of any other unit that you want to reconstitute, and it can be very costly and very time consuming, and it also beats up your squads that you may need for replacements for your other troops. But for the Chinese, I will get these back. They won't be at full strength when they come back, but they will have some of their squads. So it's not the worst thing in the world. What it does do, though, is completely open up this road. I do have one blocking unit around here, but other than that, it's wide open. I do have about 2,000 AV at Cyan under level 4 forts. I'd really like to get those to 5 and have about 3,000 AV before he comes calling. We'll see. It's going to be tough to do because of all the bombing that Cyan is receiving. And I'll also need to get more troops in this area just in case Cyan falls, so I have another kind of layer of defense here. Some of these hexes are really crucial, especially that one right there. It's kind of the gateway into the valley where Chongqing is. These 3 roads in this mountainous terrain. If you can hold that, you can delay things for quite some time if they're coming in that way. Other reason why it's important to hold right here is Lanzhou is one of your major industrial and oil centers in China, producing supply that feeds a lot of southern China. So if they cut off right here, if they cut off northern China from southern China, you miss out on all those supplies, and it's not good for you. So definitely I need to readjust some troops. I have a lot down south of Cyan, and I have to start moving those north and reinforcing Cyan itself, and maybe getting some more in this rough terrain here to block him, because Cyan itself is clear terrain, so I'd rather fight in some of the rougher hexes up here. We'll see if I can get them there in time. I imagine that he can move a little bit faster than I can, except for the fact that I do have a nice road and he's on a trail, so we'll see. Bombardment attack at Guam. Hopefully bombards. I shouldn't say hopefully, because of course I'm trying to quote unquote win. I'm trying to do the best the allies can, but I don't like to see opponents kind of futilely attacking. So hopefully he bombards for a couple more turns, continues to rebuild his AV until it's he's back in good fighting shape before he attacks again. My AV is about as high as it's going to be. I'm not going to get any higher, but as he recovers disablements, he's going to be able to. And we have... Okay, so I attacked at Manila. So I saw here at Manila, he had moved in 6 units. It didn't look to be a very strong force, and so I thought what I could do is attack preemptively and eject him from the hex and do some damage to his troops here, especially because he brought some engineers. However, I am not doing as well as I thought I might. Yeah, just down to 1-to-1. This probably is not going to be good to me. I started out with about twice the AV he did, but the urban terrain of Manila definitely worked in his favor, and this could have been a mistake on my part. Definitely was. I lose about 3 times in casualties reported, but again, the key thing here is looking at these combat squads. I have 111 destroyed. That's pretty devastating. 305 disabled. Yeah, bad disablements all around, whereas he only has 10 total destroyed squads. So definitely disastrous attack on my part. It was me trying to be cheeky, and it definitely did not work. So we're going to go on the defensive in Manila from here on. We'll let him do the attacking in this urban light terrain, and not try anything fancy here. And that's the turn. I know it was a little bit of a long one. I talked a little bit much, but I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the Discord. Thank you so much.